last time you were in a conversation with somebody and you actually felt like you were being listened to? Do you remember what that feels like? Having somebody actually hear you? As if they are able to pick up what you're putting down, that they can hear and thoughtfully respond to what you have to say. Today I want to talk about conversation. And sadly, I think the art of conversation is dying. And with it, I think we've lost attention span, curiosity, vulnerability. These are all important aspects of what makes a conversation flow. What makes you feel heard while you're trying to share something with somebody. So to kind of give you some reference on why I appreciate this topic so much, back in 2014, I had the opportunity to travel Europe. So I spent about 2 months abroad, went to about 10 different countries, and with every country, I got a new learning experience. See, at the time, I didn't feel like I had a good grasp on social skills. I didn't feel as if I could engage with anyone whenever I wanted. And honestly, it's like that was the root of connection for me, this idea of language. How else do we transmit how we're feeling, what we think, what we see, what we experience? So today I want to pass on some helpful tips that I found in my pursuit of a good conversation, and hopefully you'll be able to find some use and some utility in them. So I kind of want to touch on three main things: mirror neurons, attunement, and empathic accuracy. So let's begin with mirror neurons. So our bodies and brains we're complex. So we have this system that neurologists have determined, and they call these little neurons mirror neurons. These are what are responsible for changing small things in our facial structures in relation to what we see and experience. So, for example, if I see you smile, nice, big, bright, beaming smile, I'm going to be more inclined to do so myself. The mirror neurons in my body are synchronizing with the ones that you're producing, and through this exchange, I'm also now feeling what you're feeling. This leads me into the section of attunement. So what is attunement? Attunement is this idea of a total feeling of presence. That it's as if you've put away your day and you're just there and present with somebody else. This, to me, this is attention span. The two go hand in hand. And I think it is something that we don't necessarily pay much attention to. We're constantly surrounded by tons of stimulus, all grabbing our attention. Yet, what allows us to just focus it on something? And when it comes to attunement, I think there's a couple key tips that have helped me establish attunement with somebody. Something as simple as body language. Am I pointed at them in the same direction as them? Or are we looking in opposite directions? Things like body language are so important to pick up on when having a conversation with somebody. We express a lot of things through our body. How we're feeling, do I feel nervous, defensive, scared? My hands in my pockets, like not exactly sure what I think, don't know what I'm saying. I think we get a lot of cues from body language and for being able to attune with somebody, even noticing these small microtransactions in our face. Did that last comment I made, did that sting? Did it hurt subtly? Because it looked like I just saw a tinge of disappointment or disapproval, right? We have these small little tells and giveaways that let people into our inside world. And this is what leads me to empathic accuracy. This idea of how accurately am I able to understand the emotions that you're trying to express to me? Am I able to put myself in your shoes? Now, that's probably one of the trickiest things. Granted that we've all had different life experiences, different circumstances of life, different walks of life, yet there are so many common emotions that we all experience that I think are very valuable and that are important to share with people. So by understanding what kind of emotions people are sending off and sending your way and being able to accurately differentiate between those, small things like in the eyes, you can actually tell if somebody is feeling more seductive or angry just on the way that their eyes are shaped and perceiving something. That to me is mind-blowing. that we're able to decode that. Now, whether we recognize it or not, good question. So, in order to be a good communicator, I think active listening is a very important part. So, I think it's a pretty overlooked thing, but realistically, how can you have a conversation with somebody if it doesn't go both ways? Both people can't talk at the same time. There's no way that any ideas are actually going to be exchanged properly, because you're not going to be able to hear somebody else's if you're always waiting to respond, right? Oh, something you said gave me a good idea. So as soon as you're done saying whatever you're saying, I'm ready with my idea. No. Because the second you just derailed yourself and thought, oh, I should tell them this, you're no longer listening to them. How can you even hear what they're saying if you're inside your own head thinking? And I think the hardest part for us is getting out of our own way. Me, I like, I hate, I want, I need. It's all about us. And I think for the longest time, if you can't get over yourself in that sense, you're not able to understand or put yourself in somebody else's shoes, because you're so attached to your own damn shoes that that's the only perspective you know. Now, I think when it comes to communication and why it's so important is because all our relationships are based upon it. Without communication, we wouldn't be able to express ourselves. We wouldn't be able to understand what somebody else is feeling or thinking. We'd have no way of describing our internal world. And to me, I think that's sad. I think we all need and desire that connection, and without it, I think life would be pretty lonely. So, with that being said, I'd like you to all try and take some of these aspects home, and next time you're in a conversation with somebody, maybe practice, right? Instead of telling them all the things on your mind, maybe ask what's on theirs. Maybe practice listening. See what happens when you listen. See what happens when you're thoughtful with your responses. One of the biggest tricks I learned when it came to conversations was everyone wants to talk about themselves. So if you ask something about them, they're going to be more than willing to share it. And my absolute favorite part is when you find that topic that causes their eyes to sparkle, and it's like, yes, they're passionate about it, they want to talk about it, and honestly, I'm better off for hearing it, because I get an inside view on what they spend all their time on, or maybe what they're so passionate about that's an area of my life that I didn't really consider before. So this idea of being able to communicate in order to gain information and an inside view into somebody else's world, you can only do that through listening. So again, two-way conversation. How do we have it? What are some of the key elements of it? And now, how do we go forward and actually practice it? So that being said, I hope your next conversation is a two-way one. I hope you get the time and you feel as if you're being listened to, but more importantly, I hope that you also give that to somebody else. I think in this modern age, we all need somebody that's willing to listen, but more importantly, we need to be that person too. Thank you very much.